Picture this. You're sitting in an office, or maybe at a family dinner. You see two people lean in close. They glance at you, then whisper something you can't quite hear. One of them smirks. In that moment, you feel a cold ripple of anxiety. Your heart rate speeds up. You feel an intense, almost frantic urge to know exactly what was said. You might tell yourself it doesn't matter. You might say, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." But you're lying to yourself, and your DNA knows it. The old saying is one of the biggest lies ever told. In the history of our species, words have killed more people than stones ever did. To your ancestors, a whisper wasn't entertainment. It was a weapon. It was the spear of rumors. And if that spear was pointed at you, it didn't matter how big your muscles were or how many lions you had killed. You were already dead. To understand why we gossip, we have to look at our cousins, the chimpanzees. Monkeys and apes spend hours every day picking bugs and dirt out of each other's fur. This is grooming. It's how they say, "I have your back and you have mine." But grooming has a limit. You can only groom one person at a time. As human tribes grew larger, moving from small families to groups of 150 people, physical grooming became impossible. There simply weren't enough hours in the day to pick the lice off everyone. So, we evolved a shortcut. We invented digital grooming. We invented language. Anthropologists believe the primary reason for complex speech wasn't the weather or to plan a hunt. It was to talk about each other. Gossip allowed us to groom 20 people at once while sitting around a fire. It allowed us to keep track of who was a liar, who was a thief, and who was the most reliable partner in a fight. Language didn't start as poetry. It started as a social credit system. In the prehistoric world, your reputation was your only shield. Think about the math of survival. You are a lone hunter. You are strong, yes, but you cannot guard your own back while you sleep. You cannot find water in a drought by yourself. You cannot survive a broken leg without someone to bring you food. Your survival depended entirely on the social contract, and that contract was built on one thing: what the tribe said about you when you weren't there. This is where the spear of rumors becomes lethal. Imagine a hunter named Kyle. Kyle is the strongest man in the tribe. He can carry a deer on his back for 10 miles. But one night, someone whispers a rumor. They say Kale hid a piece of meat for himself instead of sharing it. Or they say Kale hesitated for a second when the cave lion charged. They don't confront Kale. They just whisper. Within days, the social atmosphere changes. People stop making eye contact with Kale. When he sits by the fire, the circle subtly shifts away. When he asks for help, people are suddenly busy. Through the power of gossip, Kale's reputation is dismantled. The strongest man in the tribe has been hit by a spear he can't see, and he is bleeding social credit every hour. In a world without police, courts, or written laws, gossip was the judge, jury, and executioner. We call it informational execution. If the tribe decides you are bad through the medium of rumor, you lose access to the fire. And in the Ice Age, losing the fire meant freezing to death. You lose access to the group's protection, and in the dark, that meant being eaten. A whisper could strip a man of his power more effectively than a physical coup. This is why we are so obsessed with what others think of us. It's not vanity, it's a survival reflex. The people who didn't care about their reputation, the ones who ignored the whispers, or the ones who woke up one morning to find the camp empty and the predators closing in, they didn't survive to pass on their thick-skinned genes. You are the descendant of the people who were terrified of being talked about. You are the product of the people who knew that a bad rumor was a death rattle. Have you ever noticed that good news travels slow, but scandal travels at the speed of light? There's an evolutionary reason for our obsession with the negative. In the prehistoric world, knowing that kale is a good guy is nice, but it doesn't save your life. Knowing that kale is a thief who will abandon you is life-saving information. Our brains are wired to prioritize threat intelligence. Gossip is essentially a constant stream of social threat assessments. We are looking for the weak links in our tribe. We are looking for the people who might compromise our safety. Why we feel a strange, dark thrill when we hear a celebrity has fallen? It's your ancient brain receiving a status update. One more rival has been neutralized. The tribe is safer. It feels cruel because it is cruel. Evolution doesn't care about kindness. Gossip created the first invisible prison. Because the spear of rumors could strike anyone at any time, people began to police themselves. This is the origin of the internalized tribe. You don't steal even when no one is looking, not because of a moral code, but because you are terrified of the rumor that would follow if you were caught. The fear of gossip created shame. Shame is the physical sensation of the spear of rumors hitting your own heart. It is the biological signal that you have compromised your social standing and that the execution might be starting. This social pressure allowed humans to live in larger and larger groups without killing each other. We traded our freedom for protection, and the price was the nagging fear of what the neighbors were saying. Gossip was the original Big Brother. Long before cameras and microphones, we were already being watched by the most sophisticated surveillance system ever created: each other. Today, the spear of rumors has been upgraded into a nuclear missile. In the ancient world, if a rumor started, it stayed within your tribe of 150 people. If you moved to another valley, you could start over. You could outrun the whisper. But today, we live in the infinite tribe. When a rumor starts on social media, it doesn't stay in the valley. It travels across the planet in seconds. It stays on the internet forever. It is an informational execution that never ends. We call it cancel culture, but your ancient brain calls it the Great Exile. This is why modern people are more anxious than ever before. We are running ancient software that is terrified of the disapproval of 50 people, but we're being judged by 50 million. The Sentinel in your blood is in a state of permanent panic. It feels like the spears of rumors are coming from every direction, at every second, and there is no fire left to hide behind. So, how do we live with the spear of rumors? First, we must acknowledge its power. Don't let anyone tell you that words don't matter.
They are the most powerful technology we ever invented. They built our civilizations, and they destroyed our greatest leaders.
But second, remember that the Sentinel is a tool, not a master. The gossip you hear today is often just static. It's a survival mechanism firing at ghosts in a digital world. Your brain is trying to protect you from an exile that isn't really coming. Find your real tribe, the small group of people who know your heart, not just your feed. The people who will tell you the truth to your face instead of whispering it behind your back. Because in the end, the only rumors that matter are the ones spoken by the people who share your fire. The Sentinel is listening. Make sure it hears something worth protecting. The fire is waiting. I'll see you in the next one.